At this point, it's hard to imagine a rapper in hip-hop more corny than Drake. No one's even trying, but he's doing the most to ruin his own legacy and continue a downward spiral unlike anything we've seen. Lately, he's not just making weak music, he's actively disrespecting rap as a whole. Drake's latest move is honestly baffling. Instead of responding to criticism with quality music or accountability, he's trying to intimidate people, Kendrick Lamar and TDE specifically. And the way he's going about it? Some of the weirdest behavior we've seen from him yet. He clearly doesn't realize the gravity of the mistake he just made, but it's something he's going to regret for a long time. Before we go further, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, it helps a ton. Now back to Drake, who just managed to out-Drake himself in the most bizarre way possible. In typical fashion, he's saying more in his Instagram captions than he did across his entire new album. That's 21 tracks of filler, and suddenly now he's getting deep in a social post? Here's what he wrote. I grew up non-confrontational and always treated this game as a sport where my pen won gold. These days the podium has been hard for all of us to ignore. I understand this next chapter may leave you uneasy, but I hope you see my honesty as clarity, not charity. That answers some questions, especially about the unanswered texts you've been sending me. Like what? Drake is saying more here than on his whole album, but it's still just another deflection. He's addressing the backlash, the Super Bowl snub, the flop of his last project, and his fading relevance all in this weird, poetic apology tour type caption. And while it sounds sincere on the surface, it's really just another performance. He's trying to look like the victim again, as if he hasn't spent the last decade sneak dissing everyone and dodging real rap beefs. Claiming he's non-confrontational is a wild lie. Drake has made a career out of throwing subliminals, ducking real competition, and trying to climb over everyone else. So now, as his run slows down, he wants sympathy? When Drake says he's always treated rap like a sport where his pen won gold, there was once a time where maybe, he could get away with saying that. But that time has long passed. These days, Drake doesn't get to act like he's cut from the same competitive cloth as the MCs who treat hip-hop like the art and battlefield it is. Because when this sport he claims to have given everything to reach its peak, his beef with Kendrick Lamar, Drake was the one who lost. Not only did he lose, but now he's trying to rewrite the rules of the game. The same rules that every true MC has understood and respected since the beginning. Instead of owning the loss, he's trying to reshape what hip-hop competition even means, just to protect his ego. So for Drake to now step forward and paint himself as one of the most respected, flawless competitors in the genre is not only false, it's laughable. It's ridiculous that he thinks people are buying into this. Once again, Drake's trying to manipulate the narrative. He wants people to question what they've seen and heard, to doubt what's clear, all so he can protect his image. But when you take a step back and look at what's actually happened, you see through the facade immediately. It's just more deflection. More spin. Then he adds to the spiral by saying, "These days the podium is hard to ignore." That line seems like his subtle way of acknowledging how far he's fallen from rap's pedestal. Instead of being the face of the game, he's watching from the sidelines now, and the truth is, he put himself there. But of course, Drake can't just admit that. So he plays the victim again, acting like he's being pushed out of hip-hop's spotlight for no reason, like people just turned on him for fun. But let's be honest, the only person responsible for Drake's fall-off is Drake. The music got lazy. The moves got corny. The hunger disappeared. He's not where he used to be, and it's entirely on him. Now, after all this, he tries to tug at our sympathy one more time by talking about the next chapter of his career and how it may leave people feeling uneasy. Some fans think he's hinting at a bold new album or a creative risk. But look at where he is right now. Do you really think Drake's talking about music? The truth is, he doesn't even seem confident enough in his own artistry to make those kinds of promises. This isn't about creativity. It's about control. And the only kind of chapter that would make people uneasy at this point is one where Drake leans harder into gimmicks, controversies, or desperation plays to keep himself relevant? Because creatively? Drake knows he doesn't have much left to offer. And that's why we're here, watching the spiral in real time. From Drake's perspective, he wants unwavering support no matter what he does. But based on how he's wording things lately, he's clearly bracing everyone for embarrassment. He's essentially telling his audience, "Yeah, this is about to look bad for me, but please stick with me anyway." And what exactly is he trying to prepare people for? It's becoming more and more obvious. Drake is gearing up for the legal battle surrounding his label and Not Like Us. With the first official responses from his label expected to drop soon, we're entering a moment where things could get really ugly for him. Drake is on the verge of exposing himself, not in the way he thinks, but as someone trying to rewrite history, not because of principle, but because he lost a rap battle and can't regain control of his career. Now, he's trying to frame this entire legal move as something noble and honest. He says he hopes people will see where he's coming from when all is said and done. But let's just call it what it is. Drake is rolling out a PR campaign for his paperwork. Not a new album, not a tour, not anything artistic, just court drama. That's how far we've fallen. If anything, this shows just how far Drake has strayed from the music. Even his rollout for All the Dogs felt forced and uninspired. But now, he's betting everything on this situation with his label and Not Like Us. He truly believes this is going to do more for his career than any song or album possibly could. That alone says everything. As an artist, he has nothing left to show creatively. What he does have is anger that he lost a battle he started and couldn't finish. He's now pouring all his energy into proving that his downfall isn't his fault. That it's the industry. That it's a conspiracy. That Kendrick didn't win because of better music, he won because the system wanted Drake to lose. It's honestly surreal to witness. As hip-hop fans, we're watching one of the genre's biggest artists attempt to dismantle everything the culture stands for. Rap battles used to be about skill, lyricism, and impact. Now Drake is treating it like a legal case he needs to win in the courtroom instead of on the mic. This isn't just a bad look, it's one of the most damaging things an artist of his stature could do. To reinterpret everything Kendrick said, to question how beefs have always worked, to cry foul after taking the L, it's not just corny, it's destructive. Even worse, Drake knows how bad it looks. He's subtly warning even his most loyal fans that this is going to be messy. That desperation is seeping through. And yet, he's still going through with it, because in his mind, keeping the illusion of control is worth more than respect from the culture he claims to care about. Even Drake knows how bad this is going to look. He's trying to brace people for the fallout, but deep down, he can feel it slipping out of control. And now, with everything that's unfolding, it's never been clearer that hip-hop is in one of its strangest, most surreal eras yet. The aftermath of this Drake vs. Kendrick beef has reached a level nobody could have predicted. Drake is actively preparing his fans for one of the worst, most desperate moves we've ever seen a rapper make, one that could have lasting consequences on the culture itself. Yet somehow, at the same time, he still wants to be seen as an MC. Still wants to be recognized as a pillar of a culture that has produced some of the most important music in modern history. But here's the truth. You can't have it both ways. Aside from rappers still chasing Drake for features to boost their careers, he's losing the respect of the very people who built this culture, those who value the art of rap, not just the numbers or social media moments. And with each move, it becomes more obvious, Drake doesn't care about the music anymore. Not really. Instead of putting energy into his craft, he's pouring everything into legal strategies, label drama, and cryptic captions. He's said a solo album is coming soon, but based on what we're seeing, it's clear that music isn't the priority for him anymore. Just look at how he's treated his recent releases. No music videos. No real push. No engagement with the fans to elevate the record. For someone who once dominated the charts and conversations with ease, this is as checked out as it gets. The music has taken a backseat to damage control, ego, and desperation. Worse yet, what's coming next is apparently so bad, Drake felt the need to warn his fans ahead of time, as if even he knows they might not be able to stand by him after this. That's how far gone this whole thing is. So where does this leave us? We're watching Drake spiral further from his artistry and deeper into a narrative where legacy, pride, and relevance are slipping through his hands. If he really follows through with what he's hinting at, more lawsuits, more petty drama, more attempts to reframe the Kendrick battle as something bigger than it was, then he's not just ditching music. He's actively damaging what little legacy he has left. And somehow, it keeps getting worse. Because before this legal mess fully unfolds, Drake has already been busy starting another beef, this time between artists close to both him and Kendrick. Classic Drake, always trying to shift focus, always playing chess, but never learning from his past mistakes. It won't work. It never does. And every move like this only helps Kendrick's case, both artistically and culturally. Let me know what you think about this wild moment in Drake's career. Where do you see all of this going? Because hip-hop has never seen anything quite like what we're watching right now. If you made it this far, be sure to like and subscribe.